I think I go.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to watch our chat today. Bienvenidos to the Web Summit. It's gonna be a fun chat. It'll be a serious chat too. We'll talk about some.
You said you were going to go easy on us.
Yeah, that's what you were promising.
Talk about some we'll be very smart. We'll try to be, and we'll also essentially talk about something that is invigorating and exciting, which is the world of content creation, and then the crossing over with brand campaigns. We are here with Ben Jeffries, CEO of Influencer.com, Casper Lee, creator and co-founder of Influencer.com, and I'm Sophia Smith-Gaylor. I am a journalist by day and TikTok content creator by night, weekend, and whenever I find a spare minute of the day, basically. For those who may not be familiar so much with Influencer.com, give a little taster of what it is that you do.
Of course. So hi, everyone. Thank you very much for having me here. So I suppose to give a little flavor on what Influencer.com actually does, we're a data-led global marketing business. We built a complete end-to-end solution to how influencer marketing works. We built our own end-to-end influencer marketing platform, and we've got our own impact studio, which really helps to produce those big ideas and those big strategies for brands. We've really become obsessed with this idea of true human influence. We believe that, I suppose, the influencer marketing industry has become obsessed with likes and the number of comments, where we focus on more outcome-based. So things that actually genuinely shift the needle, which I think in today's world is really, really important.
Casper, what would an outcome-based sort of result or return on investment look like?
It really depends on what the brand or company is looking for. I suppose ultimately sales, but some brands are looking for brand uplift. Sometimes they're looking just to get a certain message across about a new product they're releasing. So yeah, it completely depends. So we'll work with our clients and find out what they're looking for, and then work out a strategy of what platforms they should be using, what sorts of creators they should be using, and how to go about that.
So not only prior to Influencer.com, but obviously for creators not necessarily working with you, do you feel like the space of essentially the middleman, the middle person between brand and influencer, has now become a lot more saturated since you founded Influencer.com?
Without a doubt. I mean, I think every single time I'm in a brand pitch or speaking to our investors, consistently they're saying, "Oh, have you heard of this company?" or "Have you heard of this company?" So I think this space is becoming increasingly crowded, but I think that's a testament to how far the influencer marketing industry has come. I mean, we're only at 4% of digital ad spend at the moment, yet kind of brands are flocking to it because they're seeing those returns. I was actually at a conference a couple of weeks ago, and someone mentioned this quote, which was famous quote which said, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times." And it was about how, at the moment, obviously global ad spend is decreasing, but influencer marketing spend is increasing, and that's a testament to things like TikTok, which have been a phenomenal force over the last year. We've heard of TikTok made me buy it, TikTok made me play it, and TikTok seems to be everywhere. As you said, yourself actually spending it every evening.
Yeah. And it's not only become a really important part of my professional life, but it's become part of my social media diet, as it were. Yeah. So it's also become, it's cannibalized some of what was my streaming and Netflix time, in that I will just sit and scroll on TikTok. Do you find that this TikTokification of the space in general, but especially influencer marketing, are brands now looking to work with a different type of creator to, let's say, 4 years ago?
Sure. I think the great thing about TikTok is any creator can go viral quite easily. So it means what's more important than the amount of followers someone has on TikTok is the creative idea behind that TikTok. So brands can work with all sizes of creators, and even if there's a massive creator, if the creative is bad, that TikTok won't do well. But if they work with a small creator with an incredible creative, that TikTok can do really well. So that's really exciting for us. It allows our impact studio to come up with amazing ideas that can help our clients. And I think it's also a great opportunity for people starting out in this industry to be able to work with brands by proving that they're just creating awesome content rather than just having the most followers.
Do you think that the formats that TikTok is pressuring us to make more and more of. I think in the early era of the app, it was very short, back, reminiscent of Vine.
Yeah.
Now, as the platform is focusing on even longer engagement time, we're suddenly seeing far longer videos being platformed. What kind of content are you seeing perform well at the minute? And can you anticipate how well it will do? One of the great mysteries of TikTok is its algorithm, and I felt from a creator perspective, it's the hardest sometimes to anticipate. You think the video will do really well, and then it tanks. And then a video that you pour 10 minutes of effort into inexplicably goes viral. So how is it changing the content that creators are being made to make?
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to scroll-stopping content. What is the watch time of everything you're making? It could be very short or very long, but are people stopping to view it? Or TikTok not only does video now, it also does carousels, and those are starting to do really well too. And then you look at YouTube, they're doing the same thing. They have YouTube Shorts. Instagram has Reels. They've just announced that they're deprecating their video. So everything's kind of becoming quite similar, but what remains the same is watch time. If you want to work with a creator and make sure that your content does well, you really need to make sure you're creating content that people are interested in, rather than shoving any sort of message down the throats of the consumers you're trying to reach.
I think what Casper's just mentioned there as well about TikTok, about the algorithm. I was actually speaking with someone the other day as well who mentioned that they were kind of like heartbroken because they turn on two-factor authentication onto their TikTok, and the second part to their factor authentication, they weren't able to get through. So they had to restart their TikTok and restart building their For You page and getting the algorithm to learn what they actually want again. And I think, now with the For You page, how kind of addicting it is, because you can literally think that you're spending about 5 minutes on there, but you probably you ended up spending about 30 minutes, an hour, just literally going through content. And that's because, the algorithm can learn about what's similar content much more effectively, I believe, than other algorithms that social networks have got.
Analytics and insights are so important to what you do, because it's how you help reassure a brand that you've done a good job for them. Now that you've been in this game for so many years, where are platforms still not being nearly as transparent enough as they could be to help people like you do your job?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think, TikTok were one of the first companies to really shout about their creator marketplace API. And our engineering team have TikTok's engineering team on what their system is called Lark. It's very similar to like a Slack channel. So TikTok are phenomenal at doing that. And I think Meta themselves have realized that they haven't necessarily focused on the creator partners to date, and now have turned a significant focus to shifting on that. So Meta are playing a bit of catch up into the creator APIs to provide that measurement. And then I think, platforms like YouTube as well, by their investments into things like YouTube Shorts, they've recently announced as well that they're going to be offering creators a share of revenue of YouTube Shorts as well. All of this is to kind of, push creators more towards using the platform so that then the brands want to actually flock there.
How do you feel about an app like TikTok wanting to be you? Because if you go on the platform as a creator, you can see brands approaching you directly, and you just do it through the app. So you'll get a notification that says, oh, so-and-so wants to work with you, and you can check out the campaign, and you can reject it or accept it, and then you'll be given a certain amount of days, I think, to do it. What do you make of platforms themselves trying to occupy this space that you want to occupy?
No, that's a great question. I think what separates them from us is that we take a multi-platform approach for our clients. So we work out what do they want to do, and which platforms should they be working on to achieve this, whereas a TikTok is a more fully automated platform approach, which I think lends itself very well to the microtransactions and the creators who are doing kind of TikTok deals at scale. But our clients are looking for that more bespoke approach to a multi-platform environment.
And I think just to add on to that as well, the platforms themselves have partner programs. So whilst it may come across as the platforms doing it themselves, they rely on the partners to actually work on the activation and the delivery side. So that's largely what we do. We're a global marketing partner of Meta, TikTok, and if a brand approaches one of those platforms, they'll then come to us as a recommended partner to actually work on influencer campaigns.
I think we've painted a good idea of the landscape in which you're working. I would now like you to show off. So why don't you tell us a bit about some of the campaigns that you've been part of this year that you're especially proud of?
Yeah, I think probably one of the most exciting campaigns for me earlier this year was the campaign we did do in partnership with TikTok, which was to do with Levi's, and it was called Then and Now. And it was around the concept of creativity where your parents probably have all owned a pair of Levi jeans. So it was encouraging creators to try and find a photo of their parents wearing a pair of Levi jeans, and then subsequently get them to kind of replicate that photo of them in a pair of Levi jeans themselves. So it was called Then and Now. And we did it with creators across 6 different markets across Europe. And what we were noticing was, despite getting tens of creators involved in this campaign, I think we had like 50 creators, we were having a lot of organic push of people wanting to join in the actual trend. So I think that's what it's all about when you're trying to build a viral campaign. It's doing something which can encourage participation.
Come on.
Well, I'm gonna plug my favorite phone brand, Google Pixel, which I was told to do on stage at Web Summit. So can we grab a quick photo, everyone? But no, to be honest, yeah, we work with Google Pixel. I love their magic eraser. And so it was really fun to come up with a creative concept with them whereby you could basically take a photo with a friend and then you get rid of your friend and send them into wherever you send magic erased people. And I just thought it was such a fun, creative idea. It sounds very simple and weird to explain on stage at Web Summit, but when you see the content, you'll see what I'm talking about. So check out my Instagram, Casper_Lee.
This is just you promoting yourself,
I always like
isn't
to
it?
do a bit of self-promo. Also, add me on LinkedIn, please. And do you want to do your TikTok promo?
I think the original question was favorite campaign, not favorite creator.
This is a bit of a provocative question, but have you identified any campaigns, I imagine they wouldn't be your own, but where people have really tried to perhaps seize upon this short-form video revolution, and it's just not gone well, it's not gone right? Where is it you think people are going wrong?
I think often what happens is people are going wrong when they hear about a trend, and then maybe because they're a big corporate and it may take them 8 to 12 weeks to activate, the trend's already passed. So I think it's really important in a world of social, you have to be agile as a business to make sure that when you are going to go onto a trend, that you're moving quickly and that you're actually getting on that, because people want to, as I said earlier, encourage participation. So people want to participate in something which is relevant to that moment. And if you're taking 8 to 12 weeks to try and activate on a big campaign which is trend-based, then you're going to be probably embarrassing yourself as a brand.
Ben, that's a great segue into our Create a Mobile app.
Yes, so there's a snazzy, shiny new app that you've launched. Tell us about it.
So as Ben was saying, and we were talking about earlier, data is so important for our creators. And right now, there's a lot of screenshots going on. So creators are just sharing screenshots, which takes a lot of time. And when they're working with their managers, it's difficult to share that and also verify that.
Break that down. So you're talking about screenshots that show the analytics
Exactly.
and the performance of the content that they've been paid to make.
Exactly. Yeah. So we already have access to the APIs for the creators in our network, which we have 13,000, who can now download the app and share share their media kits directly with the brands. But also going back to what Ben said around speed, it's allowing us to activate a lot more quickly where our creators live, which is on their phones.
Because of the pressure to work so quickly, which I do think has been sped up even more probably by the TikTok revolution, does it mean that a lot of creators kind of become one-hit wonders? And is that something that endangers possible longer-term brand partnerships? Or how is it that creators can try and keep this up beyond when the trend's gone?
It's a really good point. And the thing I love about TikTok is anyone can blow up. But if anyone can blow up, it means that people are constantly being they're constantly being overshadowed by new people who are blowing up on TikTok. And so you're addicted to the app rather than the individual creators sometimes. which is obviously great for growth, but for sustainability, which you talk about, it makes it slightly more difficult. So I always suggest creating also longer form content. And so now you can do that on TikTok, but you can also do it on YouTube. You can create podcasts and so on. And I think that's really how you can build a sustainable business as a creator. So you've got to migrate your audience and not rely just on one single platform.
And one of the points you mentioned there was around the longer-term brand partnerships. So we're definitely seeing brands shift towards working with creators on a longer-term basis. So we're seeing creators themselves only really want to partner with like 3 or 4 brands across the course of the year. That's so they can build that more authentic relationship with their followers, so that they can actually show that they genuinely care about the product, they're genuinely interested about the product, and they've researched it as well. So all of our collaborations that kind of we're pushing on a long-term basis, we're saying, look, form those relationships with the creators. With Google Pixel, as Casper mentioned earlier, they're getting creators actually involved in product sessions, hearing feedback directly about them. And it really helps to actually build up that trust and build up, ultimately, that return on investment, because the followers are buying into it much more.
Let's talk about the future of influencer marketing. Obviously, you're launching a new app. You're always trying to come up with new ideas. But in terms of trends and things that you think it's really pertinent to keep an eye on, the good, the bad, and the ugly, what would you identify as things that everyone in here should be kind of bearing in mind for the years ahead?
Yeah, for us, I think the biggest trend that we're finding goes back to that data point that we touched on earlier. We're really trying to push this whole kind of tone of true human influence. We want to be making sure that when we're running campaigns for our clients, that we're showing that the activations have genuinely moved the needle, and that's so that we're moving away from just saying the number of likes or the number of comments, but actually showing deeper analysis into how a campaign performed. Casper mentioned a few things like brand awareness, like sales, but it may be thematic analysis into kind of showing, have comments actually showcased purchase intent, have comments shown any key themes, and that's where we want to move to.
Like sentiment and comment analysis.
Exactly.
That's terrifying.
But it's great for creators, because this is how they make a living. This is how they can create content for free for their audiences. And then also something I think is really exciting is LinkedIn. I feel like as young people who've grown up with social media enter the workforce, they're obsessed with LinkedIn. And someone was telling me the other day, they were asking how many young people who are doing an MBA were on Facebook, and obviously most people weren't on Facebook. How many on Instagram? A few more. How many were on LinkedIn? It was like every single hand went up. So I'm also excited for the future of influencer marketing on LinkedIn, where I feel like it's very positive, because everyone's a little bit more professional and they have their real name there. So I love that.
I did not think LinkedIn would be brought up today.
Please add me on LinkedIn. I really
You're really plugging yourself today.
CSPARLE.
So if you've been listening, things to focus on are TikTok is growing and is going to keep growing. But what you've said is what I have heard every year that I've been in social media, which is follow accounts are a metric, a good metric. They're not the most important, are they? It's about engagement. It's about long-term relationships.
Yeah. And it's about the right fit as well, because when you're dealing with creators, they could have global audiences. But if you're a brand or a service that is looking for a particular niche or a particular market, you're wasting a lot of money by working with the biggest creator.
And who knows, next year we may be talking about the comeback of Vine.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Yippee! I can't wait. We'll see you there. Ben, Casper, thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
I'm in Sophia. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much.